Voters and Peterborough Plus Chapter, Council of Churches, New Hampshire Peace Action, Welcoming New Hampshire, Occupy Seacoast, New Hampshire Center for Justice and Equity, New Hampshire Youth Movement, and the Committee to Preserve Social Security. Our board at Open Democracy, our amazing staff, and the committee that helped pull this event together.
You're awesome.
Thanks, you're too. Our founder, Granny D, Open Democracy's founder, was part of a study group for Tuesday Academy. And she was studying about how big tobacco was influencing and said, what am I going to do about it? And believed in the power of one, which started her walk from California to Washington, D.C. I want you to give a warm welcome to our first speaker, who is part of the solution. Michael Lefty Morrill is currently the organizing director for New Hampshire Peace Action, and as a community leader with a lifetime dedication of social and economic justice. He was arrested with Granny D 25 years ago, reading the Declaration of Independence in the Capitol Rotunda. Please welcome Lefty Morrill.
It. Okay. My friends, my fellow dreamers, my co-conspirators in this democracy that often forgets what that word even means, let me tell you a story. It was April 21st in the year 2000. The century had just turned its stiff collar toward the new millennium, trembling with promises it had no intention of keeping. And in the cavernous halls of the United States Capitol, where the marble floors echo louder than most voices ever will, we gathered. A small flock of dissenters, 32 in all, including me, including a woman named Doris Haddock, though the world would come to know her as Granny D. Granny D was 90 years old. She carried the weight of 9 decades in her bones, but walked lighter than many who have lived only half that long. She had walked across the country, 3,200 miles from California to Washington, just to demand something as quaint, as radical, as forbidden as campaign finance reform. She walked not for glory or gratitude, but because she understood what it meant when a democracy is auctioned off to the highest bidder. And when she reached that house of marble and menace, she decided not to knock. She walked in, carrying words written more than 2 centuries before, words the state claims as its origin story, but jails people for reading aloud the Declaration of Independence. That day in the Capitol Rotunda, we read it together, not shouted, not weaponized, but in remembrance. We read those words like a prayer, like a warning. We read them not as performance, but as plea. And for that, for the crime of assembling peacefully, for the crime of echoing history, we were arrested. Yes, I was arrested with Granny D. In that moment, the irony was not lost on us. We were not protesting with pitchforks or placards, but with the very document that this country says gave birth to it. The police didn't arrest us for breaking a law. They arrested us for reminding the law of its own mother tongue. So what is the lesson here? That in America, quoting Jefferson in the wrong zip code can land you in handcuffs? That a 90-year-old woman with a conscience is more dangerous than a corporation with a checkbook? Or is the lesson that the real crime is remembering too clearly? That peaceable assemblies are only allowed if they are meaningless? No. The lesson is this: power cannot bear witness to its own contradictions. It cannot tolerate mirrors. It thrives in silence, in forgetting, in the white noise of lobbyists and the lullabies of pundits. But Granny D refused to forget, and so did we, and so must you. We do not gather here today as citizens merely. We gather here as keepers of memory, as the inheritors of a rebellion still unfinished. Every time we speak truth in a place designed for obedience, every time we refuse to be polite to power, every time we read those sacred, unruly words out loud, we are continuing what Granny D began. Let the record show. She walked, we stood, they arrested us, and history, as it always does, blinked. But let us not blink again, because blink once and a forest is raised. Blink twice and a river is sold. Blink 3 times and democracy is made into a brand name, priced for export, hollowed at home. Granny D did not walk 3,200 miles to become a symbol. She walked because symbols are not enough, because it's easy to praise the past while bulldozing its meaning. She knew that every step on that long road was a footnote to the Constitution, an amendment scrawled in aching knees and sunburned skin. Her walk was not nostalgia, it was prophecy. So what shall we do with this inheritance of blistered truth? What do the powerful pray? What do we do what the powerful pray we never will do. We remember, and then we organize. That's right. We remember that democracy is not a noun. It is a verb in the present tense. It is unfinished, unpurchased, and perilously alive. We organize not as cynics, but as believers in the kind of country that could still be born. One not bankrolled by billionaires or bound by gerrymanders. One where your voice does not cost $2 million per ad buy. This is the vision that Granny D carried like water across the desert. And today, in our small, flinty state of New Hampshire, her vision still flickers. It lives in the work of open democracy, the grassroots firekeepers. Not consultants, not careerists, but gardeners of the democratic soil. They are not funded by super PACs. They are fueled by the faith that the people, not the plutocrats, must be sovereign. So let us not romanticize Granny D. Let us radicalize her memory. Support open democracy. Walk your own miles, not always on highways, but through town halls, community centers, union halls, zoning boards, school board meetings, ballot lines, and yes, jail if we must. Because the real march, the one that matters, did not end on Capitol Hill. It continues in you, in your voice, your vote, your outrage, your insistence that corruption is not inevitable, that justice is not naive, that democracy, when it truly breathes, is not polite. Granny D walked to remind the country what its feet were for. Now it's your turn. Walk on. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lefty, for those inspiring words, and we will remember to organize. Our next speaker is Lisa Bowden. She has spent a lifetime making good trouble. She is the former director of New Hampshire ABLE and now leads the New Hampshire Council of Churches. Let's welcome New Hampshire Hands Off Medicaid jailbird, who will be sharing the unholy impacts of Christian nationalism on our democracy. Please welcome Lisa.
I'm going to try to get a little closer to all of you. Feedback if I step in front of the speaker so I can stay right here. Great. Well, good afternoon, friends of democracy. It is good to be here, to be with you. We all know that democracy is a team sport, so we need to start winning again, right? And I appreciate being given a few minutes to share with you some ways that you might get more involved after I give you a little bit of bad news. I'm also here on behalf of the New Hampshire Council of Churches, and this is New Hampshire's progressive faith network that believes in love and justice and democracy, not domination, not the domination of Christian nationalism. The New Hampshire Council of Churches stands united across denominations to affirm that Christianity must never be used as a weapon of control, exclusion, or authoritarianism. Never. No and no and no. And I want to be clear about what we're up against. Decades ago, political operatives, not spiritual leaders, set out to manipulate conservative Christians into becoming a power base for authoritarian rule. Figures like Paul Weyrich, co-founder of the Heritage Foundation, infamously said, "I don't want everybody to vote. Our leverage in elections goes up as the voting populace goes down." This was the strategy. Use religion to shrink democracy. Later came Ralph Reed and others who peddled quote-unquote family values as cover for the long game of building an authoritarian state. I'd like to tell you that there is a great documentary film, very engaging and informative, called Bad Faith, the Christian nationalism's unholy war on democracy. It's $2.99 to watch online. I cannot more strongly recommend that you take that in. So, the Christian nationalist agenda is no longer hiding in the shadows. It's out in the open, and its blueprint is manifesting now. It started manifesting on Inauguration Day. In fact, it started manifesting before Inauguration Day when we started learning of Trump's upcoming administration, the incoming administration's appointees to different agencies. But I want to tell you another element of the blueprint that Christian nationalists are propagating. It's called the Seven Mountains Mandate, and it's a direct threat to the pluralistic democracy that we cherish. Their goal is not to live faithfully. It's to rule and to dominate the following 7 pillars of society. Not serve, but control. And here's how their strategy is now showing up. Pillar 1, government. Christian nationalists are winning inside the current administration. Key appointments include figures like Russell Vought, who is the director of the Office of Budget and Management. He said, "We are no longer working to preserve existing post-war liberal order. We are working to overthrow it." Theocratic ideology is being coded into the machinery of public policy starting 6 months ago. Pillar 2, media. Here's an example. Just this year, 60 Minutes fired journalist Sharon Alfonsi after she produced a segment critical of Christian nationalism. Pressure from conservative and religious fundamentalist groups successfully chilled speech at one of America's most iconic news organizations. That is not journalism, that is censorship, and that is not the ministry of Jesus, and that is not Christianity. Pillar 3, education. From banning books to banning entire curriculums, education is under siege because of Christian nationalism's movement, and it's not just K through 12. Yale University removed a divinity school professor from his role after a political controversy rooted in Christian nationalist backlash. These are not isolated incidences. They're happening week in and week out now, and they are deliberate moves to silence critical thought. Pillar 4, business. Under coordinated pressure, companies like Walmart and Disney and JP Morgan Chase have scaled back their DEI initiatives. Does this make you angry? Does it make you angry?
Yes!
I still didn't hear you. How does it make you feel?
Angry!
These reversals came after Christian nationalist allied influencers attacked efforts to support workplace equity. And this is frightening because the free market is no longer free when it's driven by fear. Pillar 5, the military. And this is super disturbing. It is super disturbing that we have people in charge of our military who are not only eminently underqualified, but they are driven by Christian nationalist ideology, which is about domination and control. Christian nationalists are in senior ranks of leadership, and far-right groups are actively recruiting within the military, and they are threatening the chain of command with ideological warfare. We read news articles about this every week right now. They removed the Coast Guard, the leader of the Coast Guard, because she was female. Christian nationalists believe that women need to be at home raising babies and not making any decisions. Pete Hegseth and border czar Tom Homan are both avowed Christian nationalists. Pillar 6, entertainment. We don't hear about this quite as much, but you should know the culture war against Hollywood is now embedded in production and distribution. Faith-based investment firms are pressuring studios to abandon LBGT content, and Christian nationalist influencers are targeting advertisers to pull funding from inclusive programming. The result? The narrowing of stories we are told and the absence of role models for people who need to see themselves in the media. And this is disgusting. Pillar 7, religion. Most disturbingly for progressive Christians, they have succeeded to repeal the Johnson Amendment, which was the line between church and state. It meant that preachers could not specifically name a candidate that they supported when in the pulpit. That amendment, repealed, doesn't exist. So we no longer have a clear line between the political machine and the pulpit. Now, the unfortunate reality is the Johnson Amendment has never actually been enforced. So when we start, can't be partisan. He's told not to be partisan. So when people who believe in love and belonging and justice and unity begin winning up and down the ballot again, we will reinstall the Johnson Amendment. We will make sure that people in media deserts don't get told by their preacher who to vote for from the pulpit on Sunday mornings. So, Russell Vought, let's get back to him, the director of the Office of Budget and Management, is advancing Project 2025's agenda. We all know about this. How many of you have read it? If you haven't read it, read it, because that will spur you into action. It will spur you into getting more involved. He said, I already shared that one. I'm not going to repeat it. You just need to let it sink in. Russell Vought is in charge of the Office of Management and Budget, an avowed Christian nationalist who is been promulgating frightening ideological ideas for 25 years. and now he has power. Here in New Hampshire, we are not immune. The radical expansion of school vouchers is designed to defund public education. You all know that, not improve it. Bills to restrict absentee voting and eliminate accessible voting machines aim to disenfranchise voters, not protect them. And just yesterday, Governor Ayotte signed into law anti-voting rights bills. She has put up barriers to access absentee ballots, which is going to hurt seniors and people with disabilities the most, and quite possibly members of the military who are serving overseas. If you are living in a nursing home, how is it that you can get your request for absentee ballot easily notarized? You cannot. It becomes an extra chore in an already starved workforce. That is what the nursing homes are experiencing. The relentless attacks on immigrants, LGBTQ people, and families who simply want to be left in peace. These are not policy. These are not positive policy advancements. They are manifestations of an authoritarian ideology cloaked in religious language right here in New Hampshire. And the Council of Churches has materials on its Countering Christian Nationalism page for you to get a download of the legislation just this session that is Christian nationalist influenced. But Christianity at its heart is not about control, it's about compassion. It's not about exclusion, it's about belonging. It's not about power, it is about service. Jesus never said, "Blessed are the nationalists." He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers." He said, "You will know them by their fruits." And the fruits of Christian nationalism are fear, hate, and control. Granite Staters, do you want fear, hate, and control taking over our beautiful state? No! So today, as we honor Granny D and all who walk in her footsteps, let us be clear-eyed and courageous. The Christian nationalist movement is a coordinated, well-funded, decades-long assault on democracy, but it is not going unanswered. It is not going to. Correct? Not in New Hampshire, not on our watch, not in the name of Christianity. And it is disheartening. We are under a fire hose of assault on every marginalized group, on voting rights, on our environment. Every week there is more disheartening news. But we cannot live in the land of the disheartened. We can visit there because we are an army of love, and if somebody needs to be disheartened for a day, I'll have your back. Eddie will have your back. Tara will have your back. Kaylee will have your back. So you can visit the land of the disheartened, but my friends, we cannot live there. The Christian nationalists plan for the long game, so can we. America, by the way, has faced much harder times. We endured the Civil War and came out with emancipation intact. That was a harder road to hoe than facing Christian nationalism, my friends. So again, take heart. We can survive this. We can flip the script and take back our country and our state. And we have to remember to celebrate the wins too. Frank Edelblut is gone. Yay! I'm sorry, how do you feel about Frank Edelblut being gone? Woo! We have to take nuggets of good news to fuel our resistance. Yesterday, Governor Ayotte signed 2 horrible anti-voting rights bills, but she did sign into law a very good voting rights bills that mandates accessible voting machines in all municipalities. And that's a good win. And that's because we are keeping our voices strong and telling Concord what we want and what our values are. We must boldly and unapologetically resist together. Boldly and unapologetically. Resist, resist, resist. Say no and no. I love our fragile yet ever striving more perfect union as our Constitution reads. So, get connected with this marathon of resistance. This is not a sprint. Protecting democracy, as I said earlier, is a team sport. Be a part of a strategic, organized group. And Lefty, thank you so much for saying the word radicalized. I just want you all to know the Greek root of radical is literally root. So to be radicalized is to be rooted. So get radicalized into democracy and freedom and belonging and love and inclusion, and get involved with an organization that has a plan for taking back the things we are losing. And if this moment speaks to you, you can join the Countering Christian Nationalism Work Group at the New Hampshire Council of Churches. In September, we start meeting monthly, and we are having our third in a series of 3 community conversations called Countering Christian Nationalism. It's our big project this year and going forward. And we take action rooted in love, not fear. Keep that in your heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Our next musical number is Eve Pierce, who is passionate and charismatic singer and songwriter who splits her time between writing and performing her original songs. She's performed lead vocals with Celtic Rock and the band Walking Finnegan. Her debut album, Saved by the Bell Tower, was released in 2021, which is available for purchase and download, and she's currently working on her next solo album. You can learn more at her website, evepierce.com, and we're just going to let her set up her music, and please give a big round of applause for Eve Pierce.
Ready to go forward more? Come up more or not? Yeah?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Do you want to come forward? Do you want me to move this back? And we'll give you a little monitor on the side. Keep going.
Nice.
And then
Yay.
you're ready to go.
Yay, awesome. All right. Yes, please.
Ice cream. We have lots of ice cream, Olivia says. Before it melts, go get your ice cream. Ben and Jerry's.
Woo!
Donated, by the way. So buy more Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so lovely. I love Ben and Jerry's. They're really fighting a good fight.
You can fight for it.
Okay.
And I'll add you on.
Mind if I go a little?
And let's see your monitor real quick.
Here we go. Oh, this is nice. Do you want me to turn down on here? Okay. I think that's okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Eve. It's nice to meet you. God, what a gorgeous day it is for this. What amazing speakers so far. I love you. You're amazing. Oh my God. So, we're gonna take a little dip into the realm of disheartened, because when I was planning on coming here today, I wanted to just hit all of the landmarks of how I'm feeling right now. So we're gonna be a bummer for like a minute, and then we're gonna get really snarky, and then we're gonna get really hopeful. So, woo! to some variety. We're gonna go on a journey. So some of the songs I have planned for today aren't even necessarily connected directly to anything political or even patriotic, but they really speak to what I've been listening to this past year, because it's what I'm connecting to a lot emotionally. So this song is called Our Town. Haha, funny joke, everyone laugh. We're in our town. This song is not written about Peterborough, but and while it's only about one town that's kind of fallen into disrepair, it's been speaking to me a lot lately. You'll understand it in the context of what the event we're literally all at right now, I think. So I'm just gonna let the music speak for itself. And you know the sun's setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. We'll go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover, 'cause your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Down the street beside that red neon light, that's where I met my baby on one hot summer night. He was the tender and I ordered a beer. It's been 40 years and I'm still sitting here, but I can see the sun setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover or your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. It's here I had my babies and I had my first kiss. I walked down the street in the cold morning mist. Over there is where I got my first car. It turned over once, but then it never got far. But I can see the sun setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover or your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. I buried my ma and I buried my pa. They sleep up the street beside that pretty brick wall. I bring them flowers almost every day, but I just gotta cry when I think what they'd say. If they could see the sun setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover or your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. I sit on the porch and watch the lightning bugs fly, but I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't want to go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. But I can see the sun setting fast, and it's just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on Good night. Writer of American Pie, one of the best songs ever. This song came out in 1971. Yeesh. It shouldn't be that relevant today, but this is from the perspective of the sort of person we're seeing in power an awful lot right now. So I obviously don't advocate for anything said in this song. This is a bit. It's a satire. Fortune has me well in hand, armies wait at my command. My gold lies in a foreign land, buried deep beneath the sand. The angels guide my every tread. My enemies are sick or dead, but all the victories I've led haven't brought you to my bed. You see, everybody loves me, baby. What's the matter with you? Won't you tell me, what did I do to offend you? Now the purest race I've bred for thee to live in my democracy, and the highest human pedigree awaits the firstborn boy, baby. Now my face on every coin engraved, the anarchists are all enslaved. My own flag is forever waved by the grateful people I have saved. You see, everybody loves me, baby. What's the matter with you? Won't you tell me, what did I do to offend you? Now no land is beyond my claim when the land is seized in the people's name by evil men who rob and maim. If war is hell, I'm not to blame. No, you can't blame me. I'm the heaven's child. I'm the second son of Mary Mild, and I'm twice removed from Oscar Wilde, but he didn't mind. Why, he just smiled. And the ocean parts as I walk through, and the clouds dissolve, and the sky turns blue. I'm held in very great value by everyone I meet but you. 'Cause I've used my talents the best I could. I've done some bad, I've done some good. I did a whole lot better than they thought I would. So come on and treat me like you should. You see, everybody loves me, baby. What's the matter with you? Won't you tell me, what did I do to offend you? You see, everybody loves me, baby. What's the matter with you? Won't you tell me, what did I do to offend you? You see, everybody loves me, baby. What's the matter with you? Tell me, what did I do to offend you? Thank you. Now I need this. Oh, come here. Come here. So, This is a song I'm particularly fond of. This isn't directly politically related, but this is for anyone who feels like they're in a hopeless situation, anyone who's just trying to make the world better. If I cry, no one tell anybody. No one snitch on me for being a big ol' softie. You might know this one. If you know the chorus, please by all means sing along. She went down last October in the pouring, driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking, and the mate, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, and she was dealt her mortal blow. The Mary Ellen Carter saddled low. There was just 5 of us aboard when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter'd rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, that met her sorry end. But insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. Then they laughed and said we had to go. But we talked of her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 afloat at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best were with her till the end, and will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 times a day in a hard hat suit, and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet, and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we've patched her ends, stopped her vents, dug hatching, portal down, put cables to her fore and aft, and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air and take up the strain, and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She saved our lives so many times, living through the gale, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to her sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And to you who adversity has dealt a final blow, with smiling bastards lying to ya everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength and a heart and arm and brain, and like the Mary no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, woo! Rise again, rise again. Okay, I have one more. So I'm a musical theater person, and I fear this might only hit to the people who are musical theater people, but have you ever seen The Sound of Music? I've been thinking about The Sound of Music a lot lately. I bet you're wondering why. Who knows? So this is a song I'm trying to do at every gig lately. Anyway, in it, and it's sort of a if you know, you know. If you don't know, that's okay. You just think it's a nice song from a musical. But so this is a song sung by the father of the Von Trapp family. In the narrative of the movie, the musical, this is the national song of Austria. So he sings it like, this is the song of my country. And at the time, his country is sort of being taken over by some people that you may be familiar with. So Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Bless my homeland forever. Thank you. I am usually one of a lot of words, but never when I feel genuinely vulnerable, so just know I'm not gonna cry. Know how much those songs speak for me and for so many people. I'm not crying. So I'm I'm just gonna leave. You get the idea. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Eve. Our next speaker is Maddie Page, who is a sophomore at Rochester University and studying political science. She also plays varsity softball. She's recently joined Open Democracy as our new high school voter registration fellow this upcoming fall semester. Maddie worked her senior year registering 45 of her peers and establishing a tradition that's carried on after graduation. She since has helped dozens of volunteers, students, and teachers create voter registration drives across the Granite State. She also was a page for U.S. Senator Maggie Hassan, and she was the award-winning Civic Leadership Award in 2024. Please welcome Maddie.
Hello, everyone. As all of you just went over, I'm a sophomore at the University of Rochester. I'm studying political science and bioethics, and I'm super excited to be teamed up with Open Democracy New Hampshire this upcoming fall. And I just want to thank Olivia and Sam for all their help with my own drive, and then this opportunity as well to continue my work with them. A few years ago, I attended one of Open Democracy's workshops where I was introduced to the concept of a voter registration drive. There I had the chance to listen and to speak with people who had successfully organized their own drive. And just hearing how attainable it was to put on a drive pushed me to keep pursuing this idea in my own school. A drive entails a lot of organizing and communicating with many different people, but it is a very achievable goal. I also attended this workshop because my dad encouraged me to, and I was very pleasantly surprised when I found that this workshop consisted of peers my own age who were advocating for the younger generation and their right to vote. I was inspired by these students who were making a difference in their own towns across the state, and I wanted to help those in my area as well. And from then, I decided to undertake this task and do everything possible to make this drive a reality. I wanted to make sure my peers didn't leave high school unprepared to use their voice in democracy. I attended Exeter High School, and as a senior in 2024, I successfully helped register 45 of my fellow students during our last month of high school. Thank you. I planned my drive during our senior week, and with the support from many of the Exeter High School personnel, I was successful. In order for a drive to occur, you do need a town clerk or a supervisor of the checklist from each town. So from Exeter, we're a regional school of 6 towns, so I had 6 supervisors of the checklist or town clerks. And they need to distribute and oversee the filling out of all the new voter paperwork. It takes coordination and communication with a lot of the local officials, and as I began communicating with these individuals, I received a little bit of apprehension to the idea of leaving the town office and coming to the physical school to register these students. A drive had not been done in Exeter in the time that I was a student, so it was a very new idea for most participants. And new things and change can be hard for some people, I've learned. I overcame this by reaching out to those outside of the school who were supportive of my drive, and they then reached out to the clerks and supervisors who were on the fence, and eventually everyone was on board and everything was able to be executed successfully. What is also important is creating a tradition of a high school voter registration drive, and that is why I'm honored to have passed down this tradition to a fellow high school student who has since found others to work with.
Thank you.
So why is registration so important? Well, registering to vote is one of the biggest obstacles for young people because many people just don't know where or how to do it. It's very new to them, and incorporating that information to a student's high school curriculum seems like a no-brainer. This type of education affects civic participation in the future and how students function as members of society after graduation. Being registered to vote promotes actual voting. It takes away any barriers that people may have. My own high school voter registration really helped me see the impact that I could have. Youth voices matter. Our future is on the line, and decisions made today shape our future. As voters, we have the chance to make our opinions known through voting. Attacks on democracy have been occurring in recent times, and voting is the ground floor for change. And our representatives will have to listen to us. Young people like myself are still trying to find their voice and place in society. Voting gives us a voice. Young people are the voice of the future, and we must keep empowering them to use it. So I urge young people to vote and stand up for what they believe in. Finally, I had a great experience with Open Democracy a couple years ago, helping students register, and I am so honored to be representing them again this fall. With the support of Open Democracy, I cannot wait to help other high school students make a difference and hopefully inspire them to to advocate for youth voting. Thank you so much.
Our final speaker is Matt Keller, who is a senior advisor at Democracy 2021. Matt was the legislative director for Common Cause during Granny D's walk and walked 500 miles with Granny D. We'll want to share some stories, but also give us some hope for our democracy today. He led the effort for the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act in 2022. Please welcome Matt.
And he walked the walk today.
I did walk. I walked 6.2 miles. It's nothing compared to Granny. She walked 10 miles every day, which was incredible. So, thanks, Olivia. Thanks, Open Democracy, Doreen, for having me. I don't have a prepared speech, but I thought because this is about Doris, and I've been meaning to come here for a while. I've never had the time to walk. But I was the legislative director at Common Cause in 1998, from 1996 to 2003. So we're right in the middle of something called the McCain-Feingold Campaign Finance Reform Act, Bipartisan Reform Act. And we had been at it for a few years, and it was a struggle, right? We had everything you could possibly have going for us, including a champion in John McCain, who was, was a national hero, a national figure, who would get on the floor of the United States Senate, and you know John McCain's story. He was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. He was shot down. He was held captive for 5 years. He was offered early release. He refused because he didn't want to break the morale of his fellow prisoners. And after 7 years, he came home, and he would stand on the floor of the United States Senate and say that this system demeans me, it dishonors me. I had him invited to the United States Catholic Conference of Bishops once, and the National Council of Churches, and he got up and he said, "We are stuck in an immoral system. It's immoral because it's awash in a sea of special interest money." And that was from John McCain, a very unique figure in American political history. So we had a coalition. We brought in some big members of a coalition. And around that time, 1999, when we had lost yet again, 1998, somebody said, "Hey, Matt, there's a person who's got a really novel idea about advocating for campaign finance reform." I said, "Bring that person in." And so in walks Doris Haddock, and I said to my colleague, I said, "Come on, man, you got to be kidding me." She walks in. What's she going to offer, really? Come on. We're all lobbying here. We've got kind of these contacts on Capitol Hill. But I'll talk to her. So I talked to Doris, and she said, Granny D, and she told us her story about preparing for the walk and what she was going to do, and our response, our response was, "Good luck, Granny. Buy Mendes." And she goes out to Pasadena, and she starts to walk in the Rose Bowl. And I remember Ken Eckler, who was the Secretary of State of West Virginia, who was a spry 85 years old, went out there with her to walk. And I saw pictures from Pasadena. I thought, wow, she's actually doing this. And so I kind of followed a little bit. And then our state director in Arizona, a guy named Dennis Berg. Yeah. Give it up for Dennis Berg. He basically called me on the phone and said, "Matt, why don't you get your head out of your ass, really, and get out here and walk with Granny D?" And I was like, I probably should do that, Dennis. Dennis, as you know, is a very direct, no-nonsense person. So I went out to Phoenix, and I met Doris and Jim, her son, who was a character, if you knew him. And I began walking with her. I walked, I think, in total from Phoenix to New Mexico. And I called into the office, and I said, we've got to do this. And everywhere we walked, people would stop us because we were on the news. She was on the news. Film crews would go out because word was coming. This is before social media. Imagine if she had done this after the age of social media. She'd have 7 million followers by now. But we'd go, and I remember walking with her on an Indian reservation, and this woman stops, and there's like, it's desolation for miles and miles, nothing around. Gets out of the car and hugs her and says, you're walking for me. You're walking to give me a voice. And that happened all the time. All the time. This 90-year-old woman, 4 feet, 10 inches tall, would walk 10 miles a day every single day. And we walked across the Southwest, over mountains, to the border of New Mexico, where I departed and went back to D.C., and she kept going. She kept going until she came to Washington, D.C. And it was a stunning testament to the power of an individual to affect change in a way that I will never forget. And we had volunteers at Common Cause who were older, so we were accustomed to seeing folks come in and give their time in a meaningful way, but nothing like this, right? So she's walking, and so I went out to Arkansas to walk with her a little bit. I went again to Tennessee. And the more she walked, in fact, we crashed a fundraiser for Bill Clinton and Al Gore in 2000, and we said Granny D's here. They finally let us in. It was a $1,000 a plate fundraiser. But so she kept walking, and we began to organize an event welcoming her to Capitol Hill. So we had this big event on the east steps of the Capitol. We had about 3,000 people, and we had all these people lined up, and I'm emceeing it, and she comes up with her flag, and she's doing her walk, and she's got her hat on. And I'm looking out in the audience, and there's like David Crosby from Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and there are like all these, members of Congress, and Feingold's here, McCain's here, and she comes up and she gives this barn-burning speech. This is a bawdy house behind us. It's a bawdy house. I'm like, what's a bawdy house? I didn't have Google that, so I asked somebody, yeah, it is a bawdy house, kind of. And so she's kind of really getting into it, and it created this buzz on Capitol Hill that was tangible. And so that was in 2000, and then something else significant happened in that year, which is AARP joined the coalition to support McCain-Feingold, and Capitol Hill was flooded with calls from members of AARP. The National Council of Churches joined, and they organized something like 100,000 postcards to members around the country, and folks began to get involved, and Granny was a catalyzing influence, particularly for the AARP people who I had been trying to get for like 3 or 4 years, but her walk made a difference. It made them wake up to say that this is an issue that concerns people that we purport to represent. And so they got on board, and a little while after that, after the arrest that Lefty talked so eloquently about, the McCain-Feingold bill passed and was signed into law over the objections of Mitch McConnell, potentially one of the 5 worst people to ever live. But he was absolutely adamant that bill would never see the light of day. After 7 years, it passed, and it did some good. It was overturned by Citizens United, but we showed that we could win in the face of absolute opposition from unbelievably well-organized and well-funded opponents. And Doris Haddock was a big part of that. And so after, she walked and we welcomed her to the Capitol, I took her lobbying with me, and just one story, I took her to see Bob Smith, your former senator here in New Hampshire. And Doris and I are sitting there, and Bob Smith comes in like, Granny, I've heard so much about you, nice to meet you. And Doris is like, are you going to support the McCain-Feingold bill? And Bob Smith is like, gives this circuitous answer, and after like 3 minutes, she goes, well, it's clear that you're not. And she gets up and she walks out. And I'm like, I'm a lobbyist. I'm like, Senator, I'll be right back. And so I follow her out, and I'm like, Granny, you can't just walk out on the United States Senator. She said, yes, I can. I just did. And so, yeah, Ye is right. And so she was no BS, Granny. And so we did a series of those things, and it began to make a difference. And we finally got that bill passed, signed into law in the dead of night by George W. Bush, and it was, again, there's so many stories of being invited in to sleep in people's homes. People invited us in to sleep in a trailer, in a mansion, in a bar. She got the key to the city in Tombstone, Arizona when we were walking. Walking in Cochise County, Arizona, where we were told later the biggest drug dealer in Cochise County stopped and offered us a place to stay. And, she touched people because she spoke a language that everybody understood, that this is a system that belongs to us collectively and not just those with the most money. And combined with John McCain's advocacy and being kind of a national hero that he was, and Granny D, and then you had AARP and the National Council of Churches, it became a moral crusade to get big money out of politics. And we were successful, and we won, and you can win. And so, I just wanted to recount some of those stories because I think it's important to remember this was a person who was an executive secretary at a shoe factory for 20 years. And she was a citizen, right? And I'll leave you with this. One of my clearest memories of that time was we had a dinner at Common Cause, and Archibald Cox was our chairman. And Archibald Cox was a giant in American political history. He was Solicitor General under John F. Kennedy. He was a special prosecutor during Watergate. He was fired by Richard Nixon in the Saturday Night Massacre. And everybody had gone. It was Granny D and Archibald Cox talking about citizenship. And I was kind of off to the side listening. And Archibald Cox was this very erudite, kind of up, straight, ramrod posture, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Granny's like this looking up, and they're talking about the nature of citizenship, what it means to be a citizen, and how foundational that was to both of their identities. And I thought, if everyone could understand and see what she is saying right now, and Archibald Cox, people from two very different places, very different parts of the world, very different educations, coming together around the common purpose of establishing the right to speak out as a citizen and to shape the democracy that we live in. If every person could see that and understand the power that one individual can have, we could make a difference, and we will. And I think about her almost every day when I think I'm not doing enough. I think of Doris Haddock walking in those doors at Common Cause at 4 foot 10 inches tall, and I thought to myself, she's never going to make it. You know what? She did.
Thank you, Matt. Our next musical number is by our very own Democracy Fellow this summer, our Organizing and Research Fellow. Ben grabbed the archives of Pete Seeger's song about Granny D, which he will perform, and he also got inspired to write his own Granny D song, which he will perform. So we're very excited to have Ben as our next musical performance, but I know he needs a second to set up his keyboard, and so while he's doing that, I'm going to urge you to visit Sophia, who is over behind John Lewis. And she will paint a caricature of you if you want some live art. There are fans for democracy back at that table. You can color a Lady Liberty. And so please feel free to visit all of the different tables. Ready for Ben? Oh, the Folk Soul Festival is happening. There is a poster back here, so feel free to go visit Leslie and John for the Folk Soul Festival. I also was handed a theater performance by some young theater folks here in Peterborough. So young teenagers said to go see their play tonight or tomorrow, so do that.
Happy Democracy Festival! How are your legs feeling?
stunning work. That's
That
awesome.
is really beautiful.
Oh, and there's the bands of democracy.
She's an alicorn.
Trees.
Oh, you missed some of the. I just put away a bunch.
Oh, wow. Gorgeous. Gorgeous Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty.
Love it.
Yes, we like to be a little bit more present. We haven't been too active. Oh, wow. Yeah, Granny D was cool. Well,
I asked them to go away.
I think, yeah. Actually, a lot of these little things, if I follow up on them and see after they're sold, that they did sell a boat. It is still, it's crazy, but they say it's slowing down. So I don't know.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Ben. I'm an intern with Open Democracy this summer, and Olivia told me about this song, "The Ballad of Granny D," that Pete Seeger wrote for her, and you can actually find it at the Mason Library in Keene. But I have a copy of it here, and on the bottom he's written, I think it's his manager, Sarah. He says, "Please don't print or record this song until it is improved. Neither the tune nor words are good enough. Granny deserves better." So I don't know if I should really be playing this. All right. This is the Ballad of Granny D, and we'll check this sound. She walked across this great big land, from sea to shining sea, and everywhere she went she found the people do agree. The time has come to take a stand and fight for liberty. Get money out, put people first, and save democracy. 10 miles a day through heat and cold, she walked across this land. She met with people young and old, and they all understand that money should not call the shots, that folks should have their way. And if we all join hands, she says, she knows we'll find a way. She walked across this land, my friend. She met the working poor. No money for the doctor's bill. collector at the door. She fought for those who'd lived and died to make our country free. And now she says this is our fight to save democracy. All right, that's the Ballad of Granny D. Thank you. All right. Oh. This next song I'm playing because I read some news the other day about PBS that made me rather sad. So this is, do we have any Sesame Street fans here? Oh, all right. This song is by Bert and Ernie. This is, well, I'd like to visit the moon. Oops. Can you hear that? All right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to visit the moon on a rocket ship high in the air. Yeah, I'd like to visit the moon, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I'd miss all the people and places I love. So though I might like it for one afternoon, I don't want to live on the moon. Yeah, I'd travel under the sea. I could meet all the fish everywhere. Yeah, I'd travel under the sea, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I'd miss all the people and places I love. So though I might like it for one afternoon, yeah, I don't want to live on the moon. Yeah, I don't want to live on the moon. All right. This next song is another Pete Seeger song. Sing along if you know it. Where have all the flowers gone? No. Where's the music gone? Thank you. It's so windy, all right. Where have all the flowers gone? Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where flowers gone, picked by young girls, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone to husbands, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young men gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young men gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young men gone? Gone to soldier, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Last one is, where have all the graveyards gone? Maybe we can outsing the power washer dude. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Covered in flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Thank you. I'm gonna play another puppet song. This is The Rainbow Connection. I don't know if Kermit the Frog is PBS though. But songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Yeah, who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. And have you been fast asleep Have you heard voices? I hear them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? I think they're one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Alrighty. Now, Olivia asked me to write a Granny D song, so here we go. World premiere. I don't know, it's called Ballad to Granny D number 2. You know what Granny D was marching for? To get that camp... Oh, my capo's off. You know what Granny D was marching for? To get that campaign finance reform. You know that Granny had a good walking farm. Yeah, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny. Yeah, Granny D. She walked today so we could take a stand and spread awareness all across the land about the ballot and the gerryman. Yeah, Granny D. Hey, Granny D. The sun beat down and the night was cold. That Granny D was truly brave and bold. At 90 years and she could break the mold. Yeah, Granny. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. The skies are heavy and the road was long, but that Granny kept going on and on. Her legs were tired, but her soul was strong. Yeah, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny. Yeah, Granny D. She marched through desert and through city streets, and when she got to Washington, D.C., she told them all about democracy. Yeah, Granny. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. Oh, Granny D. Thank you, Granny D.
Thank you, guys.
One more, all right. People know we shall overcome, I hope. Here's another sing-along. Please join. So Granny D can hear it. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe
free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall be free someday. Thank you. And we are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we are not afraid someday. Thank you all. Happy Democracy Festival.
That looks so good. Yeah, I gotta get on the live.
Thank you all so much for coming. There's so much to do to protect our democracy, so we invite you to take our weekly actions. Go to opendemocracyaction.org. Weekly actions. We put out 3 actions a week for people to do to protect democracy. Hang around the park, visit the tables, or help us clean up. Thanks and have a great day.
And come dance tonight. We have a contra dance townhouse starting at 7:30 for lessons if you don't know how to dance. And we'll have the leftover Ben and Jerry's ice cream there, huh?
Leftovers? I don't know.
Alright, one last view of the Democracy Festival before we end this live stream. How was the Democracy Festival? Tell the live stream. You have a good time?
Had a great
I
time.
keep putting you on the spot, Bob.
Wonderful day. Weather-wise, beautiful. The spirit of the day, wonderful.
Yes.
We
We got to listen to original music by Ben.
Well, yeah, we did. This was the premiere issue.
And they should have cast you for Bob Dylan instead of Challenge.